All right.
Going live. All right, we're live.
Live?
We are live here with Mr. William Kellerman, the 79th Infantry Division. How are you doing this morning, sir?
I'm okay.
That's good.
Well, you're looking good. You're looking good. You're looking good. Well, let's talk about yesterday, your birthday. I mean, you turned 96 years old. How was that for you?
I don't look a day over 95.
That's true.
Well, you look good. You look good. How do you feel?
I didn't live, I'm not alive long because I was good. It's because I was never caught.
That's good. That's good. You're slick. Kind of like how I was on the football field. You got to be slick, moving and shaking a little bit, you know? You never want to get caught. What's that?
I dodged a lot of bullets over the years.
Dodged a lot of bullets, yeah.
Yeah. I think all of us can say that in our lives, actually. Not.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're excited to have you, William. I know you haven't gone on program with us yet, but we had a great chance of meeting you in 2018 in Normandy, where you received that beautiful medal right there on your chest. Can you talk about your experience going back in 2018 and receiving the Legion of Honor?
My experience where?
Receiving the Legion of Honor.
Oh.
And going back to Normandy in 2018.
Take yourself back to Normandy in 2018.
Well, it was very exciting, but not to sound pompous, I deserved it.
Amen. No, you were there.
That's
You
good.
were there.
What did it
Yeah,
feel
you were there.
like to receive it?
What?
What did it feel like to receive it
Oh.
in Normandy?
I was overwhelmed. I don't get that attention here in this country. They kind of like ignore it, even at the VA or wherever. They say, like I've gone to meetings of ex-prisoners of war, and when each guy would tell his story, and when I tell them I wasn't in a German prisoner of war camp, I escaped. They say,
How did it feel for you to be in Normandy, Dad? That's what they want to know.
I felt wonderful, but everybody was so appreciative and grateful for us being there and doing what we did. I love the French people because they appreciate what we did.
For sure.
Yeah, it's pretty special because I think a lot of people have no clue that there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people out there that just want to come out and see you and your other brothers that served during World War II. And I don't think we have that here in America. It's very different. It's very different. And it's so great for guys like yourself, veterans, to go back to the lands that you liberated. You didn't speak the language, but you went there to fight for their freedom and to go back and to be honored the way that you and everyone that all the veterans that were there in 2018 was unbelievable. I mean, I just saw you smiling from ear to ear, just looking at all those thousands of people there in Carentan and St. Mary-Glise. It's just overwhelming, I'm sure, for you. What was it like for you?
Before I went overseas, I knew the Germans were bad, but I didn't realize they were that bad about the concentration camps and all the crazy things they did. I knew they were bad, but they were beyond bad. They were horrible.
Yeah.
The stories that came out after what they did. But all the Germans I met weren't Nazis. So some of them were like guys like me. Like if we met each other under other circumstances, we might have liked each other.
Mm.
Yeah.
we were being taught to hate each other and to kill each other. It's just, as I'm getting older, thinking about it, these things are crazy. When you have a war, it's the old men sending the kids out to kill each other. Except
Yeah.
that he was exceptionally bad. This Mr. Hitler.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. How old were you? You want to tell our audience how old you were when you joined the service?
What was that?
How old were you when you started your whole journey?
Well, I was 18 when I first went in. By the time I got overseas, I was 19.
Just a baby. Just a baby.
I was a big, strong guy, afraid of nothing and nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody messed with me. Now, if you blow at me, I fall over.
Hey, there's a great Toby Keith song that says, I was good as I once was, but not as good as I ever was, or something like that. You know the song, Austin?
Yeah, I can't remember.
I was good as I once was, but he talks about getting older. He talks about getting older. He's like, in my day, I was tough. I was a fighter.
Let's leave Toby Keith out of this. Come on, that's subjective.
Yeah, go on the other side.
So what was I just gonna say? Oh yeah, I've been scrubbing through footage of our 2018 Normandy trip, trying to find shots of William that I might have caught, because he didn't go with us. He was just at the same spot as we were when he received his medal. We were there for the ceremony, but unfortunately I just went through all my footage and he was on the other end than we were, so I didn't catch any shots of him getting his medal, which sad.
A bummer.
Sad.
Bummer.
But Mr. William, we got a lot of people waiting in our waiting room to come in and meet you. So I feel like we should just get this thing going, try and get as many people in here as possible so they can talk to you and ask you some questions.
Yeah, and maybe Gene, if you can repeat the question.
I have nothing to hide.
Right.
We'll see about that.
Can other people hear us right now?
Yes.
Yeah, everybody can hear. Yeah,
We're
we're
live.
Remember, you're going to be talking to kids.
Yeah.
I'm going to repeat the question, but you're going to be talking to kids. So remember your interior edit button.
No, he's good. He's good.
Watch your mouth.
No idea.
Hey,
You.
it's all good. It's all good. Let's go, Austin. Bring him in.
All right, let's go. Patrick,
Thank
you're
you.
coming in.
All right, we have Patrick.
Our buddy Patrick from the Philippines.
Yeah.
So Patrick's in the Philippines. It's like probably 2 a.m. right now for him.
There's our guy.
He's coming in.
Hi, Patrick.
Hi.
Can you hear us?
You're on live with Mr. William Kellerman.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi, Mr. Phil.
Go ahead, Patrick.
Mr. William, my first question is, how does it feel landing in the Utah beach?
How did it feel landing on Utah Beach?
I felt like I was going into a big adventure, and I was going to kill as many Germans as I could, because I heard more and more about the horrible things that they did. I was never really afraid because I was too stupid. I was only 19. To me, it was a big adventure and a good feeling to be part of it. Not that I'm bragging, but I never had any fear. I figured we're going to win.
Confidence.
Yeah, I think you're right, because, I got to tell you, like when you're young, you're just full of spunk and energy and I just think that, your fear of death is really not there because you're so young. And I think that's why maybe our warriors are young, because you had that same mentality when you came on Utah Beach.
Well, he said that when you're young, you don't think about death. Like, were you
No.
thinking about getting killed?
No,
He's
I
told me that he never thought he was going to get back, that his life was going to be in the war.
I never thought I was going to get home. I thought I was going to be, the war was going to go on for 10 years, 20 years. I didn't
Oh,
realize
interesting.
they were going to.
Yeah. Wow.
I thought that this was my life, but I was never afraid.
Yeah.
In a weird sort of way, I kind of liked it.
Mm. Well, we'll get into that. Patrick, you have another question?
Yeah, one last question. How do you escape by the SS when you're caught?
Oh, this is a good story. Jean, you want to repeat the question?
Or, Dad, how did you escape?
I escaped.
By the SS.
How did you escape the SS?
There was about 50 or 60 of us who were captured. I didn't know the other guys. I was captured. I was by myself. I was sent on an errand, and they sent me in the wrong direction, and I ran right into a German tank. The other guys, I don't know how they caught them, but they were going to march us back to wherever. So, but we used to walk only at night, because in the daytime, the airplanes would attack anything moving on the road. So we walked all night, and we stopped whenever it got daylight. Whatever building was around, they threw everybody out and made us stay in there. The guards, they were on bicycles. The Germans. One night we stopped, and for like a minute or two, and by luck, I mean, I wasn't thinking about escaping, but where I stopped, there was a very heavy bushes. I said, "Oh my God, luck is with me," and I crawled into the bushes. It was in the dark. They only counted us in the morning, so I crawled into the bush, and I waited till they got up. They got up and left, and then I ran like hell the other way.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
But you said that you had asked a bunch of guys to go with you, and they all said no.
Yeah.
They were afraid.
I did ask other guys to come with me in the bushes, but they said no, we're afraid we're going to get caught and get shot. I said, heck with you
Little
guys."
William, he's like, I'm not afraid of nothing. I'm getting out of here.
I'm from the Bronx.
Yeah.
On the
yeah.
Bronx, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
I'm from the Bronx, man. This is everyday life
I
for me.
grew up in a tough neighborhood
Yeah.
where survival was something every day I did.
Yeah.
Mm,
Sure.
mm.
I just
I've heard some gnarly stories about the Bronx back in the day. That's
Wow.
cool. Well, Patrick,
Wow.
thanks for coming by, man. Good question. And if you want to say one last thing to Mr. Kellerman, go ahead.
well, Mr. Kalam, I hope you have a good day and stay safe and God bless.
His birthday was yesterday, Patrick.
Yeah, I saw in the Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah. Patrick's following all that. He sees what's going
Yeah,
on.
he's on it.
Yeah.
Hey, Willie, Patrick's calling all the way from the Philippines. It's like, what, 3 a.m. right now?
It's
I think
2:16
it's
a.m.
2 a.m.
Yeah, 2 a.m.
Thank you so much, Patrick, for calling in to talk to my dad. I'll
Yeah.
thank you for him. We appreciate
My
it.
honor.
Yeah.
Thank
See you,
you.
Patrick.
Hey,
Thank you,
All
buddy.
See you, Patrick.
I like being recognized. I guess I'm having it out.
All right, so we're going to bring in Matthew next, and then Connor, and then Paolo. So Matthew, you're coming in. Connors after that, and then Paolo after that.
That's
Be
it.
ready.
Bringing in 3 people.
Well, not at one time, just
No, one at a time.
yeah. There's like 15 people in here waiting right now.
Yeah,
There'll be
sounds like
more.
it.
There'll be more.
Yeah.
Matthew, what's up?
Hey
Hey,
guys,
Matthew.
can you guys hear me? I have this headset on.
Yeah, we can hear you great.
All right, awesome.
All right, so you're on with Mr. William Kellerman. Tell him how old you are, where you're from.
I'm Mr. Kellerman. I am 26 years old, and I'm from Chicago, Illinois.
Matthew's 26. You have to speak a little slowly. He's
Okay.
26. His name is Matthew, and he's from Chicago.
I'm 96. And my name is William, and I'm from Long Beach, New York.
I like it. I like it.
Nice. All right,
Good stuff.
Matthew. Floor is yours.
All right. I wanted to ask about what was the fighting in what was it like fighting in the hedgerows of Normandy? If you have recollections of fighting in the hedgerows.
In the hedgerows was where I got caught. I was sent on an errand. We lost our radio, the company I was with, and he said, "Go find the battalion commander, tell him we don't have a radio, and to tell us what to do." And it was in the hedgerow country, so I'd run across. There was a lot of bullets flying around. I'd run across the field. The hedges were about 6 feet high, something like that. And I dive across. After around about 6 or 7 of those, I dived across, I picked myself up, and there's a tank looking down my nose. And they're aiming it at me. So I decided, I gave it a minute of thought, and I says, I better give up. How can I fight a tank?
For a while were you thinking about fighting it? Taking it on one-on-one?
I'm from
guessing-
the Bronx.
It's like, I'm on the Bronx.
Come on,
Ain't no
Tank.
tank gonna scare me.
Yeah, except he only had a carbine at the time, from what I could tell by the photo.
But I love that he thought about it for a minute.
Matthew said from your photo, the young man who's asking the question, that you only had a carbine on you. Carbine.
Carbine.
Either one's fine.
That was your gun. Yeah.
A carbine.
But can you talk about when you were running, how you said how you heard?
Oh, I used to hear the artillery shells coming over. When they were coming in our area, you would hear like a whistling sound of them flying through the air. As soon as the sound stopped, you knew it was dropping. So you say to yourself, should I stand here? Should I go there? Should I go there? Where's it going to drop? Well, so I just stayed where I was. It just dumb luck if it lands on you or not, because it doesn't make any sound when it's dropping.
But before it drops, right? They made a whistle.
But luckily, for me and for the American Army, I wasn't killed.
Yeah,
All right.
for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Austin, you want to throw up a photo from one of those photos when he's in Normandy?
I'm pulling those up right now.
You're not paying attention.
I am paying attention.
Okay, so I'm working on that. So Matthew, you have another
All right.
question?
Yes. What was urban warfare like? What was it like fighting urban warfare in France?
What was that?
What was it like fighting in towns and cities in France?
Oh, in France, fighting in towns was pretty good, because the people who lived in the towns loved us, welcomed us. The girls would kiss us, give us wine. If we went back the next day, they would charge you. But as you went through and And the enemy ran away, the Germans running, we were pushing them away. They were delighted. They would applaud and kiss us and
Do you have
throw us bottles of wine. And
do you have any memories from actually fighting in the towns?
well, that's the memory. The actual fighting was, if we saw a German, we shoot at them. But most of the Germans that we ran into at that time were more afraid of us than we were of them. And when they saw us, they ran like hell.
Mm. Mm.
Can I ask a question that would follow up with that? You had all the German medals and the swastika sticker armband that you gave your grandson. How'd you get that?
Off a guy, I have it. I don't have it with me. I have the swastika armband of one of the Germans that I killed.
Wow.
I gave it to my grandson who's sitting right here.
Does he still have it?
It's in my desk drawer.
Oh wow.
I didn't know I should have brought it over for today, but yeah, every time I open my drawer, I see it.
Wow. Wow. That's history right there for sure.
There's a blood stain on it.
Wow.
Wow. Wow. God, I wish you had that right now just to see
know
it.
it.
That's an incredible part of history.
Next time.
I can.
I have a question about the French resistance. What was it like meeting the French resistance guys? I know they kept you kind of prisoner for a while because they didn't know if you were actually an American or some kind of German spy. What was your impression of the resistance fighters?
Oh,
Well, what the French guys asked?
no, this is Matthew. He's asking about, there's a light behind you, Matthew. It's hard to see your face.
Oh.
He's asking about what it's like, what it was like, thank you. What it was like being with the resistance fighters.
Oh, it was exciting. At first,
The French resistance, when you
the
were with
French
them.
resistance.
Is that what you're referring to, Matthew?
Yes, when he when he got captured when he got found by the French resistance.
Well, at first they thought I was a German, looking for them, because they had a whole organization there.
Well, he was on a bicycle. I don't know how far you know. When he escaped the Germans and he was crossing France, he ended up, quote unquote, borrowing a bicycle.
Borrowing.
Quote
Borrowing.
unquote.
Borrowing.
Borrow the bicycle.
Borrowing.
I confiscated a bicycle. I got
Confiscated, that's a better word.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guess what time-
You liberated the bicycle.
Okay. So anyway, he was riding and he made it all the way from Normandy because we retraced his steps 2 years ago in a car, and he ended up to the Loire Valley and he got a flat tire. I'll let you tell the rest.
I got a flat tire on the bicycle that I had liberated, and I stopped at this in a small town. There was a bicycle store, and I went inside and pointed the tire. I said, "Fix the flat, fix the flat." And 3 guys come out from the back with guns aimed at me. I said, "Holy shit!" I stopped at the wrong bicycle store. It seemed like they were the resistance, and they thought I was a German looking for them.
It was the headquarters for the French resistance in this
It was the
bicycle, behind the
headquarters.
bicycle store.
Wow.
For that area. So then
Was that your
they
bike?
found the guy. That's me.
Wait,
They-
you stole a motorcycle?
No, that was just a Nazi bike he jumped on. A
Oh.
BMW.
All right. Okay.
I was like, is this the bike we're talking about?
You know how much that is worth today if you have that motorcycle?
That's a German motorcycle. I probably killed the guy. I don't remember.
Oh, shit.
But that's
Yeah.
on the
No,
bicycle.
but continue with your story.
Go with it.
Okay, so you got into the bicycle store and they came out with the guns.
They came out with the gun. That they felt sure I was a German looking for them. And they took me to a schoolhouse, and I think, oh shit. And they found a guy who could speak English, and he
Gotten them that.
kept asking me who won the World Series. Well, luckily I knew who won that year, because I'm not really a baseball fan.
Wasn't that the
So,
Cardinals?
all kinds of other questions. And
Was that the St. Louis Cardinals?
Dad, you know, was that the St. Louis Cardinals? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Okay, we'll have to look it up.
Matthew, I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Well, I'm pretty sure that's who it was, because I remember.
1944.
Then again, that was, yeah, I'm pretty
3 or
sure.
4.
They asked the same question to a bunch of guys who
Ah,
were shipwrecked, actually. After the Battle of Leyte Gulf, they asked the same question.
That's a pretty good question to ask, because like, I mean, just like if they asked us who won the World Cup or whatever, you'd be like,
right.
or some soccer, we'd be like,
And the other thing
Championship.
Sorry to interrupt. The other thing, Matthew, I was going to say is that when he escaped from when he was a POW and he got to a farmer's house, the farmer wouldn't let him in, but he burned his uniform and gave him French clothes. So he ended up in that bicycle store. He was in just common French clothes.
That explains why they didn't. So that explains why they didn't know he was an American right off the bat. So what was?
I would pass some of the Germans on the road, and I would say bonjour, and they would say bonjour. They didn't speak French, and I didn't speak French.
So what was
wow.
It was really a lot of fun.
Wow, you're undercover. How many days?
Wait, Donnie, this is my nephew. This is his grandson, Jonah. Pop your head in, Jonah.
Hey guys, went back and got the Nazi armband that my grandpa took. Yeah.
Wow.
Hold it up a little bit. We can't see it. Oh, wow.
Wow.
Grandpa, I'm going to move your head. I'm going to move the screen a little bit. So this
Wow.
his hat? Wow, I feel very bad if I said that was cool. That does look pretty cool.
I mean, it is kind of cool.
And you said there's blood stains on it as well?
It's hard to see. It's hard to see, but the blood stain has faded, but here there's like very, I guess you'd call it like a burnt color.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it.
Which I would think is kind of a faded blood stain.
Right.
Wow.
So, Will, you want to tell us a story and how you acquired and how you liberated that?
What did he say?
Do you remember how he had a lot of medals also at one point. Do you remember?
Yeah, but just that particular armband that you took off a soldier.
Do you have any memory?
Remember the story about that and when you received that?
Do you have any memory of the story of the soldier you took the armband off of?
Oh, except that he stopped breathing.
So what was it like when? So what was it like when you got back to your unit? Were they shocked you were alive? Did they assume you were dead, or?
Well,
Yeah. He wants to know what it was like. Then he was in the Freteval Forest with the Royal Air Force Escaping Society, which was mostly shot down RAF pilots and some English pilots. There's a lot online about the hidden men of the Freteval Forest, and my father was hidden with them. There's a ton on it, and it's called the RAFES.
But Grandpa, he asked about what it was like to get back to your unit. Did they remember you?
This is getting there.
Yeah, but that's the question.
Oh, when I got back, after I was in the forest with these guys. I didn't want to stay there, but they told me I had to stay. I wanted to keep on going, but they said I had to stay with them because if I got caught by the Germans, they'd wheedle it out of me that they were French resistance, and they had British air flyers they were hiding and all that. So I had to stay. So I was like a prisoner there.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I really didn't want to stay.
And then the question was, how did it feel when you got back with the 79th? The Americans
Well,
came and liberated the forest.
I felt brave and kind of happy, except when I spoke with the colonel. I went to see the colonel and to tell him what happened and why I was there. And he said, "You're Jewish, aren't you?" I said, "Yes, I am." He says, "You should be happy they didn't kill you. Get the hell back to your outfit."
That'll do it.
Wow.
So
Yeah, especially being captured by the SS.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All these years, it still annoys me.
well, they wouldn't give him POW status.
Well, if they had actually found his dog tags and it had that on there, they would have killed him right then and there.
Yeah.
We know that with the H, that's why we took them off and had them burned. But our army, the US Army, wouldn't give my dad POW status after.
Oh,
His
man.
captain wouldn't. He wouldn't take the notes of it. He just said, get back to the 79th. And all the other guys that were in the forest all got sent home.
Wow.
Wow.
Just worth noting, you know. I mean, he's not complaining that he had to go back and fight, but that's the truth.
It's just one of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should definitely dive in and check the morning reports and
I've been
see.
trying to get them, Donnie.
Yeah, it's difficult now because of COVID, but
Yeah.
it's something certainly we should look into for sure.
So question, how does a guy from Brooklyn go
Bronx.
from the Bronx? Oh, sorry, from Bronx.
They'll beat you up for that. You know.
Yeah,
all
right.
All right.
The
All
So how does a
borough.
guy? So how does a Jewish guy from the Bronx wind up in the 40? Go from the 42nd to the 79th Division?
Wow, he knows everything. How'd you go from the 42nd to the 79th?
I was with the 42nd a very short space of time. I hardly finished a basic training. They told me, Kellerman, pack your bags. You're going. I said, where am I going? You're going to the 79th in Kansas, Camp Phillips. They're going overseas, and they need replacements for guys who were sick or
Killed.
no, they were still in the United States. They weren't killed.
Oh, okay.
The guys who were sick or hurt or whatever, and they were going overseas, and they picked. So I don't know why they picked me, but they picked me and about 5 or 6 other guys to go with the 79th, who had been together over a year. They went through maneuvers and all kinds of stuff, and they were ready to go overseas. And that's why I didn't ask to be transferred. They just did it. They said. So when I went with them, they had finished all their training. So all we did was a march around. I remember we once went to a dance in Kansas, and it's the first time I heard the song, Mary Dokes and Dozy Dokes, and Little Lamsy Divey. I thought that was cute.
Oh,
But I have his group photo from the 42nd Rainbow Division as well as from the 79th.
yeah. You want to put it up? I think we have it.
Yeah, how do I put it up?
No, Austin can put it up.
Which one?
All the photos,
I can
the
text
photos of his unit.
I don't know if I took the 42nd, Austin.
That division is made famous from the film The Fighting 69th, from what I know of my history.
Actually, not to knock our country or our government, but the army, for the most part, was anti-Semitic and racist. They didn't mix the blacks with the whites. There were no of the black guys who did any fighting. They just had them as driving trucks or cooks and stuff like that. I didn't like that.
My
I didn't-
grandfather had a similar experience, but he signed up in that was back in the 50s. But well, he actually had, according to him, a black NCO drill instructor who was not very kind to Jewish men for a lot of
Yeah, no, it's true. It's not, it's
Eh,
really.
it cuts both ways. But no, there were African Americans who did fight in the war. They fought in tank battalions, the Red Tails, the artillery battalions, and then towards the end of the war, they wound up in what were replacement platoons that were separated to different units because they realized, hey, we have all these guys who were trained as infantrymen. Why don't we just bring them up? And because we're really short on replacements, so it was like one of the first real tests of integration of the army. And then you get like segregation. The army was very interesting because you would have Chinese guys fighting with the regular guys. You would have Hispanic or Mexican guys fighting with the regular guys. It was
Native American.
exactly. It was weird how it really only applied to one. Then you had the Japanese unit, but that was a more of a thing because of the camps. But it's really weird at times when you really think about it. It wasn't really a truly.
I thought it was weird.
Yeah. It wasn't really a truly segregated army. It was segregated in the sense of separating one group from everyone else.
Very segregated.
Well,
Which
cool.
Which really annoyed me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
for
imagine.
sure.
It annoyed my grandfather too. They asked him if he had horns. Some
Oh,
country
geez.
boy. Yeah. Well, he's Jewish, so yeah, same with me.
Well, Matt, thanks for coming by.
Yeah,
Good
always
questions.
sharing your knowledge, which is great.
Yeah. For sure. So if you want to say one last thing to Mr. Kellerman.
Do you guys still live in New York? Because my brother actually lives there.
Yeah, my dad lives on Long Island, where we are right now in Long Beach, East Atlantic Beach. I live in the city.
My brother, he lives in I think the Lower East Side of Manhattan.
Well, I live in the Lower West Side of Manhattan.
Oh, maybe
he lives,
neighbor.
he lives close to Freedom Tower, actually.
Me too.
What are you
Oh,
selling
wow.
over there for 99 cents?
No, it's a Jersey, Dad.
Oh, what are you selling over there for 99?
It's a Jersey, Dad.
That's Hampton.
I was trying to find your 40-second photo.
Hi, Mom.
Yeah. Here's a photo. Is that your let's see,
That's
what
the
unit is that?
79.
That's
That's
the
the
79th unit, yeah.
Nice.
Stay over here.
The one with the good hair.
Oh, handsome fella.
I was much taller then than I am now. I shrunk.
Do you remember any of those guys in that photo there, Willie?
Did every guy have a carbine?
Do you remember anybody in the photo? In this photo? Is Cliff Durling in this photo, Dad?
I remember them by looks, but not by name.
Was Cliff Durling in this photo?
Was what?
Cliff Durling.
No.
Oh, okay.
I never knew him.
All right. Well,
He wasn't in
Matthew,
that.
good to see you again.
Right.
Good to see you guys.
And we'll talk to you soon. All right.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
All right, cool. Before we go on to the next caller, one of our team members, Ralph Peters, he had a question regarding one of these photos that you sent us. Austin, I just sent it to you. Maybe you can put it up. Since you guys fought in the area where Ralph lives in, he asked if you remember exactly like where this picture was taken.
Okay, firing it up. That one?
No.
That's the one you just sent me.
Yeah, that's what was sent back to his mom and his sister by a soldier knocking on the door.
Well, we can
It's
talk
missing.
about that. Well, you have that one. I'll send the other one. We can talk about that.
Oh, sorry. Gene just sent me that one.
I was listening in action.
No, I sent you. No, check your. They had a folder of all the photos that I sent you.
Okay.
That we can fire up.
Oh, that one. Okay. I have that one.
What is that?
I'm waiting for him to ask a question, Dad. I'm right here. I'm not leaving you.
Oh,
I'm not.
You know, G's not going anywhere. She's right there. She's right there by your side.
That one.
Yeah, that's the photo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we're trying to determine. So Ralph Peters, one of our team members, is trying to determine like if he knows where this was taken because it was in his area and it's the same style of his of the houses that where he's from.
Okay.
You remember that photo was
Any idea
taken?
what this photo might have been taken?
yeah. But this was in Maastricht, Holland, by the Rhine River before we crossed the Rhine. We stopped here for a couple of nights when they were telling us we were going to go across one night, across the Rhine into Germany. And we were told, you're going to see a schoolhouse here and you're going to this kind of thing, and this and that, and regroup because we were going to do it at night, and we stayed a couple of days in Maastricht. People put us up in their apartments. That's in Holland. And
Wow.
Cool.
And
Wow.
on the
Wow.
night we when we did go across, nobody arrived or landed where they were told they were going to. Everybody's yelling, "Hey, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you?" But we finally got it all together, and we went after the Germans. And most of them ran away from us. They didn't really fight back until the Battle of the Bulge.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, he says
You're
that.
on your way back to Bulge, right, Dad?
Yeah, we're gonna bring Ralph on right now.
Well,
He
he's
said
not,
like,
he's not on here, so
oh, he doesn't want to come on.
he's
Okay.
not on here. So
All right. Anyways, all right. Let's move on. Who do you have next?
Connor's next.
All right, we're gonna bring on Connor.
What is it?
Somebody named Connor is coming on next.
Yep. Can you hear us, Connor?
Where's he from?
Perfect. Yes.
All right. Connor, tell him how old you are and where you're from.
Well, Mr. Kellerman, my name is Connor Ritchie, and I'm 16 years old, and I live in Lafayette, Louisiana.
Hi, Connor.
Hello.
His name,
Hey, Gene, if you can repeat that so he can hear what he said. All right, go on, Connor. Ask a question.
Well, my question
nice shirt,
is,
by the way. Looking good in the. Let me see the shirt. All right, looking good in the D-Day shirt. I like it. I like it.
the Normandy shirt. Yeah.
Connor
Yeah.
is 17 from Louisiana.
Yep.
Put your face a little bit lower, Connor, so we can see you. There you go. Perfect. You're too cute to miss.
We tell them that every week. We only get like this much. Handsome fella. Handsome. Very handsome fella. Go ahead, Connor. Ask your question.
Well, my questions are: I know you were born in raised in New York. Can you tell me who your parents' names were and your brothers and sisters, please?
Grandpa, he wants to know your parents' names and your sisters' names.
My father's name was Leo Kellerman, and my mother's name was Rose. My father was born in Romania, and my mother was born in Hungary, and they met here, and I was born here in New York.
And your sisters?
My sisters were one was Edith, one was Alice, and one was Clara. But
And-
they're all gone. I'm the only one left.
And he was supporting the family by the time he was 14, right, Grandpa?
Right.
Oh.
When I was of age, like 20, I was born 1925. like in 1929, things were very bad. The economy, and we all had to work to support the family. I worked for like $5 a week in a grocery store carrying bundles and stuff like that. And it was a different kind of an upbringing than my children had. They don't realize how fortunate they are and how easy they got it, except for the virus that just arrived.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Mr. Kellerman, how long did your parents live, sir?
Grandpa, how long were your parents alive?
Well, my mother died pretty young, as soon as I got out of the army in 1948. My father, who left us when I was about 13, he moved to Florida. He left my mother. He lived to, I forget when, I think it's 1963, 64. And they called me from a hospital in Florida that he died. I went down and buried him. But
Wait, did you actually bury him?
well, I didn't actually bury him in the ground because they asked me at the funeral parlor, is he going to have any family come to see him? I said, no, he ran away from his family. He got married and divorced again.
Oh, wow.
So I buried him at sea.
Oh, wow.
At that time, it was allowed. If you went 5 miles out, they put him in the coffin, put holes in the coffin, and put chains and cinder blocks. I know he liked to swim.
Is that a true story?
True story.
I don't know. I don't know to believe this or not. I
Oh
mean,
my
True story.
God.
It's a true story. It wasn't 63, it was like 73. He was about 96. We all remember it very well. Very true story.
wow. So you guys are all on
Right,
the boat
Matthew? Is he
together?
okay?
That's like Bronx life legit.
Yeah, I want to see this movie. This is incredible.
Matthew,
So
are
we-
you okay,
So we
honey?
take out my dad, right? We take my dad out, right? We take him out. Wow, this is awesome. This is great. This is great.
Oh,
I believe it. I believe
wow.
it. I believe it. I
It's true.
believe it.
It's
That's
true.
hardcore, man. Different times.
Wow.
Different times.
Wow. And were you guys all there on the boat as well?
No, my dad went down. The guy from the funeral home in South Beach,
Mhm.
you know, it was a guy from the funeral home. They got a rabbi and a little rowboat. They didn't go out 5 miles. They didn't even make a mile, and they did it.
They're like, we need a motor. Wow. Wow.
So
And he always said his father swam every day, so now he's swimming with the fishes.
wow.
I lived
Let
with
that be a lesson, kids. Don't leave
Welcome to
your family.
New
They
York.
might plop your body in the ocean.
When I was about 13, my mother felt sorry for me working so hard. She sent me down to Florida to stay with him. I stayed with him for about 2 years. I went to Miami High School, and then I felt guilty because I knew my mother and sisters were having a tough time here, and I came back.
Wow.
They also put him on a bus from New York to Miami, like a school bus by himself.
Wow. Wow. Man of the house at 13 years old.
Yeah.
How sad is that?
And then he
How
lived
sad
in the
is
back.
that?
Wait, and then ask, where did you live when you got to see your father after those couple of years? Tell them that story. When he wasn't there waiting for you.
Oh, wow. When I went to see him after the war,
Matthew loves it.
he had a shoe store. He fixed and sold shoes. I walked in and he said, "Can I help you?" He was shorter than me. He looked up. "Can I help you, sir?" I said, "Papa, I'm your son." He said, "Hello, Sonny." I thought that was funny.
Hello, Sonny.
Hello, Sonny.
Wow.
Oh, gosh.
In
Well,
between,
my other question is, it's one military questions.
Okay.
So I know you were in the 42nd, which is the Rainbow Division. and you transferred to the 79th. So it's kind of a hard question. Who was your company commander in your own company?
In the 42nd or the 79th?
79th.
Okay, because he was a replacement to the 79th. He came over to Europe with the 79th.
Okay, does he remember who the company commander was?
Do you-
Grandpa, do
Mhm.
you remember who the company commander was in the 79th?
No, a long time ago.
Twas a long time ago.
Do you remember the name of the colonel that you spoke with after you returned back from
The forest. Do you remember the
Forest?
name of the colonel that you spoke with, the guy who was so nasty to you?
No.
No.
No?
I remember the name of the ship I went over on, the Uruguay, SS Uruguay.
Uruguay.
So somebody once asked me, some guy in afterwards, because I was in Manchester, England when we landed. We stayed around in Manchester before the invasion. He said, do you remember the name of any of the girls you went out with in Manchester? I said, no. He said, how come you remember the name of the ship and you don't remember the name of any girls? I said, "Well, there's only one ship."
Young Connor, you have a lot to look up to, buddy.
Oh, I'm sorry, honey.
At the beginning of this, she even warned him, now you're going to be talking to kids, all right?
I did.
Watch your mouth.
Right.
I did. Sorry,
Oh.
Connor.
You're good. You're good.
All right. All right, Connor, it's good to see you. Do you have any other questions?
Well, before I go, I got some cool pictures that you might like. This is my great grandfather when he was in the Air Force.
Move it over a little bit. We can only see half of it.
The other way.
The other way. The other way. Towards your face. No. We can't
Can
see
you
it.
not see yourself, Connor?
There, a
There.
little bit.
Your
Your hands
thumb
in
is
the way.
covering the camera.
There we
There-
go.
Oh, handsome fella.
Yeah, very.
He was 23 in this picture.
Wow.
Very cool.
And my other picture, this is his family right here.
Hmm.
Oh, that's
Wow,
That's
it's
his
great that
family.
you have these photos.
He was
Wow,
born
big
in,
family. Very big family.
there was 14 in that family.
Wow.
14.
Dang.
Is that- yeah. Louisiana?
He grew up in Ringgold, Louisiana, which is north from Shreveport, where my great aunt lives now. This is his father right here. That's his father, and that's his
Can't see
mother.
it. I can't see it.
Hold it up. There you go.
That's his mother and father right here, and that's my great grandfather on the bottom right.
Can't see it. Hold it up.
Okay, but very
There you go.
cool.
Oh, okay, on the bottom. Okay.
Thank you for showing us those.
Wow,
And
that's
that's his
great.
brother Pete, Perry, and sister Rena, and sister Timpy Ann, and Bill.
Wow.
Bill's
Remember all
Bill's
those.
one.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And he's
Thank
and
you.
Uncle Bill is the only one left out of that side of the family.
Wow.
Oh.
And my last picture, this is my aunt right here, my great aunt right here.
Aw.
Oh.
You
And
can
you.
see I'm taller than her, actually.
Yeah.
Nice to have
You
those.
probably
How old is
still
she?
do.
How old is she?
Yeah.
She is 95.
95. Born 1926.
25 actually.
Oh, her birthday's. Yeah.
Her birthday's in June. She'll be 96.
Right on.
Connor, Willie turned 96 yesterday.
Really?
Yes.
Well, happy birthday, Mr. William. Happy
Thank
birthday.
Cool. Well, Connor, you got one last thing you want to say?
Well, it was nice talking to you, and thank you for your service and protecting for our country. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have the freedoms that we would have today. So thank you very much, and stay safe. I had a pleasure talking to you. Then have a nice day.
For sure. I think Connor's come on since we've started doing this, William, and I think you're the first one I've seen to get him to really laugh. Connor's a pretty serious guy. But you got Connor laughing.
It was a pleasure meeting you, Connor. We kid around a lot in this house.
Grandpa, do you want to say something?
He was a cute
I like
little
it.
boy.
I like it.
He's next.
All right, Connor. See you.
Hi, sweetie.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Connor's 16 years old and loves history. And that's the generation that we want to remember, to pass it on, and to keep things alive. And it's just great to have an opportunity to talk with you. It's just really special. I mean, I know these kids are never, ever going to forget it.
Yeah. So, William, in the chat here, someone asked, what was the best K ration meal? What was your favorite K ration meal?
I had K rations. I ate a lot of that stuff.
What did you have a favorite K ration meal?
There was no favorite because there was nothing that tasted that good. The
Yeah.
only thing I liked was there was like a piece of chocolate in there. I had 3 cigarettes or 4 cigarettes. I never smoked until then.
Chocolate and cigarettes, huh?
Well, when he went into the army, he was kosher, so he didn't eat for a while. And
Oh, okay.
eventually he decided he needed to eat to keep on going.
They didn't have kosher K rations?
No, what's up with that?
I know.
But he had never eaten pork, right, Dad?
Yeah.
You never ate pork before.
Wow.
I never ate pork.
All right. Well, we got Paulo here now. Paulo, can you hear us?
Hello, can you hear me? I can hear you.
Yeah. Hi, Paulo.
Oh, yes.
All right.
Hi,
Tell how
hello,
old you are and
guys.
where you're
How
from.
are you? Hello, I'm from Brazil and I am 18 years old.
Where in Brazil are you?
What?
Where in Brazil are you?
I'm from the northeast part of the country, a city called São Luís.
Nice. Beautiful.
Where's he from?
Northeastern Brazil.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
I spent 3 months in Trancoso and Porto Seguro many years ago.
Oh, that's nice. In Bahia.
Bahia.
Nice.
All right. Anyway, where's my dad?
Cool. All right,
Hello,
Paulo.
Hello, Mr. William. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I would like to wish you a very happy birthday. God bless you, and I wish you the best. I have some
Having a very
questions.
happy day after birthday. Talking to all you guys. It's marvelous. I really enjoy it.
Good.
It's a huge honor to talk to you, sir. It's my pleasure.
You have a question?
Yes, I have some questions to ask you. The first question is, what did you feel when you were crossing the fields and the bullets passing next to you?
Grandpa, when you were running through the hedge fields to deliver the message, what did it feel like hopping over each hedge bush, running through the fields, knowing that bullets were flying by and you might get struck at any moment?
Well, I kind of, when you're 19, you really feel this, most of the guys, and I felt like, oh, I'm never going to get hit. Just keep my head down and keep jumping over the fields, and keep on going. I didn't give it a thought about getting shot, because then I would have been afraid and I wouldn't have gone. I did what I was told to do, and unfortunately, not. It wasn't my intention to get captured. But I had to know it was going to land in the field with a German tank.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow. I guess that's one way to think about it, because I never thought about it. Like, you have to almost put in your head that, you know, I am not going to get shot, and I'm not afraid, and I'm going to do my job, because the one point where you are afraid, oh, I don't want to get shot, you become hesitant, and that's when you really are going to get shot, when you're scared. So it's a mentality that you had to have, you know, in order to get through it, and you certainly did have it, sir.
When we were, you know, he's told me these stories my whole life, my sister's whole life, his grandchildren's whole life. But when I was with him in Normandy in 2018, when we were literally driving through those hedgerows where he was, all of a sudden he said he could remember seeing the bloated dead cows, and he remembered seeing other Americans and Germans whose tanks had gotten blown up that were trying to climb out, that were literally charred, half hanging out. I mean, then when we were there for the first time, he was like re-seeing it.
I saw a lot of dead people,
Wow.
which I had never seen a dead person before.
Should cheer it up a minute.
wow.
Yeah, but I mean, that was heavy because my whole life he always told it to me, I'm his daughter, like an adventure. But then when we were there, he started telling me the horrors that he saw of war, the real, you know, what it really was, not just the adventure.
Yeah, I can't even imagine how difficult that will be, Willie, you know, to see, you know, young kids your age, 18, 19 years old, killed, dead, laying, you know, I mean, I can't imagine, like, for a young kid that's from the Bronx to, you know, to see that. And I don't know, it's hard to fathom.
Yeah, he said the water, when they landed, when he, you know, climbed down the side of the boat to the flatboats, he climbed down those rope ladders because the boats couldn't get close to Utah Beach. And then they got on to the flatboats. And he said there was still tons of blood in the water, even 5 days later, and tons of bodies on the beach. You know, it was still very heavy gunfire.
Well, the bodies weren't picked up yet.
Yeah. I mean, how sad is that?
Yeah, we had one veteran that we brought back in 2018. He was part of the Graves registration. And he was telling us that, you know, he's always afraid of bodies and dead people. And they put him in Graves registration. And he's like, oh, no, I can't do this. But he had no choice because, you know, you're placed somewhere, you have to do it. And he was telling us a story about, you know, picking up all the bodies off the beaches. And, you know, it's hard. Sometimes you think about it, it's it's heavy.
Sure.
It was a very different perspective being there with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. Paolo, you got another question?
Yes, I have another question. Mr. William, how were you treated when you were taken prisoner by the Germans, especially by the SS troops?
I never got back that far. I escaped before I got back to the SS troops. The guys who captured me were just regular guys like me. They were drafted, and they were showing me pictures of their girlfriends, and I gave them a cigarette. I had American cigarettes, which was a big deal. Those guys were okay.
What about the guys who were marching you when you escaped?
The guys who were marching us back, I didn't speak to them. They were on bicycles. They never really bothered us. One guy interrogated me, a German officer. So I gave my name, rank, and serial number. That's what we were taught to tell him. He says, I know what outfit you're from, because he saw from the patch on my sleeve. And I really didn't have too much contact with the Germans, other than with the guys who caught me. And again, the other ones I had contact with, I killed.
Yeah.
That was my job.
Mr. William, I would like to ask you my final question. Are you Jewish?
He is, yes.
Are you Jewish,
Oh,
Grandpa?
He asked if you were Jewish.
Yes.
So was there something personal for you to fight in World War II?
Was fighting personal for you because of your religion?
No, because we had no idea. We had no idea how bad the Germans were. We didn't know about the concentration camps and all the horrible things that they did. We didn't know about it until we got into Germany and actually saw it. We couldn't believe anybody would be that evil.
Whoa.
Yeah, I guess you wouldn't know before you took off and left America. You didn't know. I mean, no one knew about this until the camps were liberated. No one knew. And then you saw the horrors. But did that add, I mean, once you found that out, Willie, once you found that out, did it just like make you angry and just, I mean, what did it do for you? What did it do for you after you found out all the horrors and the murders that was going on towards Jewish people?
What is?
Grandpa, once you found out about the camps and how
many Jews were
how just horrible the Jews were treated, how did you feel once you learned all that?
I felt it was a good thing I was there. I never realized anybody could be that evil. And I was happy, even though I didn't feel like a Jewish soldier, I felt like an American soldier. I was more American than Jewish, but
yeah,
anybody would be horrified. I don't care what religion they were when they found out about what the Germans did.
An American soldier right there.
Yes. Oh.
But he also faced anti-Semitism himself in the army, which he was talking about before.
He did.
If you
can you talk about that, William? About the anti-Semitism that you experienced in the army?
Well,
to talk about the anti-Semitism that you faced in the army.
The anti-Semitism was only from that colonel. There was no anti-Semitism between the guys we fought with in our company. I was a big, strong guy, and nobody would mess with me.
Yeah.
So the only anti-Semitism you felt was from the colonel, who told you to get back with your unit and did not put in the paperwork for your POW status. Am I correct?
But you also, yes, but Dad, can I bring something else up? You told me multiple times that when you were in the 42nd, the 6 or 7 boys they called as replacements that didn't have the training were all Jewish names.
They were. They're the guys who were taken from the 42nd and sent to the 79th. Were all Jewish. I guess they wanted them out of the 42nd division.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He said there were like 6 or 7 names founding, and they were all clearly Jewish names. And he's told me that forever. So
Interesting.
It was kind of weird because I didn't really feel Jewish. I'm not religious in any sense of the word. I just felt I was American who happened to be Jewish, not Jewish.
There you go. There you go. And that's what we all are here in this country. You know, we're all American first. You know what I mean? And we all come from different parts. And that's a great thing about our country, unlike other countries, is that we all come from different places. You know, we're all different. But number one, we're all American, and we're all living the American dream. You're 100% right, sir.
that's right. Let's hope.
Yes.
Let's hope. That's the hope, right?
That's all we can do.
All we
So
can do.
Paolo, thanks for coming by. You got anything else you want to say?
Yes. I would like to ask you, Mr. William, for all what you did for your country and for the whole humanity. I mean, the whole humanity is grateful for your service. You really mean it, you're a great guy, Thank you so much for your service, for your sacrifice, and for our freedoms, our rights, our civilization. All we have today, we owe you. We owe you your soldiers and everyone who fought in World War II.
Mm.
Thank you so much, sir.
Well said. Well said. Well said.
Beautifully said, Pablo. Thank you
Wow.
so much.
A beautiful little kid he really looked like, I think I looked like when I was his age.
You wish.
Nice.
He's
All right,
looking at you.
Paulo.
Let me see that shirt. Let me see that shirt.
Best Defense Foundation shirt.
Yeah.
Nice.
Magic.
All the way down in Brazil.
Yes.
He sure is a good looking kid. Why do you think I stayed in Brazil for 3 months?
I heard that, Gene. I heard that, Gene.
I am my
Yeah.
father's daughter, Donnie.
Gene,
I
maybe
know
you,
that.
Gene, maybe you and Paulo can talk after this.
All right.
Bye,
Continue, Paul.
Bye,
Paulo,
guys.
good to see you
Thank you so
again.
Bye.
much.
Bye-bye,
All right.
sir.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Ciao.
Wow, it's cool.
So,
All the way from
William,
Brazil.
what was it like for you to return to Normandy? Did you return for the first time in 2018? Was that your first time back?
Was it your first time back to Normandy in
Yes.
2018?
Yes, it was the first time.
Wow.
I
Okay.
was back to France many times, but I never went to Normandy. I just stayed in Paris or Strasbourg. I just kind of toured around. I don't know why. I must have had a mental block against it.
I think so.
Seeing all the dead bodies, I wasn't too went. And the cemeteries, I wasn't interested in seeing that.
Well, you look pretty happy in this picture here.
Oh, yeah. That was in the
That's
American
you.
Cemetery.
That's
Yeah.
standing over Omaha Beach there.
Yep,
At
exactly.
the cemetery. Yep.
There's like 9,000 guys buried there. And I
Yeah.
wasn't too anxious to see that.
Yeah.
It's intense going there for sure.
But it's a great place to honor and remember, and to know that they are resting there on that beautiful manicured, cemetery above the beautiful beach. It's just really
Yeah.
amazing to know that
Tell me
they.
about this photo, William.
That's me over there.
What's going on here?
Oh, that was hilarious. That was in Utah Beach, right in front of the museum. There were some reenactors that were posing with the bronze statue just as we happened to walk by. And I said, Dad, run over there and grab the front of it. So he did. The photographer doesn't know what's going on. The reenactors didn't know. We were laughing our heads off, and I just started snapping pictures. Having a good time.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's his first time back, seeing it in a different sense. I mean, there was thousands and thousands of people out there. It's just incredible to see all the love and support that people come out to see you and your brothers. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
All the people online to get his signature in the museums and everywhere we went was phenomenal.
One of my autographs.
Oh, yeah. Feel like a pro NFL football player.
Yeah.
I really feel, and the medal.
We met a pro football player.
Yeah.
Did you hear
Okay,
me?
so we still got a lot of people waiting to get in.
We became friends with a pro football player. Don.
Who's that?
Who's a pro football player?
He surely doesn't look like one now. But
So we're gonna bring in
who we
Anya
have
next.
Austin?
We're gonna bring in Anya next, then Zach, then Isaac. So
How
Anya,
you
get
feeling?
ready?
You feeling all right there, Willie?
How you feeling,
okay?
Dad? You okay to go a little longer?
You got about 15 more minutes? Can you do about 15 more minutes?
Here, take a sip.
All right. So Anya, you're coming in, then Zach, then Isaac.
Okay, cool.
I like the attention.
I bet you do. All right.
Hi.
Oh, we can't see you. Turn your video on.
We can hear you, Anya.
I actually can't turn my camera on because it's like 3 a.m., almost 4 a.m. where I live. So would it be okay if I just spoke?
Are you actually in the Philippines?
I am, yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you can just speak.
Okay,
We
thank
can
you
see your
so
picture,
much.
so.
Yeah, it's okay. We had someone in the Philippines earlier who,
Yeah, I saw.
yeah.
So do I ask now or? I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
go ahead. Well, tell us how old you are. You're obviously in the Philippines.
I'm 18, so I'm used to staying up late, obviously.
Tell your parents.
Yeah, they don't really know that this is happening right now.
Well, you have a 96-year-old World War II veteran just waiting for to answer your questions.
I know, I really hope I don't pee my pants, but yeah, happy 96th birthday, William, belated, obviously. I'm so sorry.
I'm going to repeat after you, okay? So speak slowly, and so I can repeat after what you say. So
Sorry, Jean.
No, that's okay. She said,
So I was reading his Best Defense Foundation introductory post, and as someone who is about to turn 19 this year, it really dawned on me how young people were when the war happened. So as someone who lost a few years of their youth to the war, do you have any advice for us young people today who are losing years to COVID?
Good question. Wow, very good question.
Give me a
Thank
second
you.
to repeat that.
Yeah,
Okay.
go for it.
She wants to know, since you were 19 when you went into the 18, really, when you went in, and she's stating it as if you lost a few years of your life to the war. Do you have any advice to 19-year-olds now who are kind of losing years due to COVID?
If I wanted to give it any advice, if I had any power about making laws, I would make every boy who becomes 18 to spend a year or two in the service. It'll make a man out of you. You turn from a boy into a man in 2 years. Otherwise, I know guys who are 30 and 40 and they're still babies. Everybody should spend a year or two with the service.
But Grandpa, what about, did you feel that you lost some of your, so you felt that you lost some of your youth when you went to fight in the army?
Lost what?
Your youth.
Some of your youth.
No.
No?
No.
No advice.
I lost
It's like, I was on a great adventure. I was living my youth.
youth by getting older.
He lost his youth by getting older.
Yeah, I just think that if you,
Absolutely fine.
according to like,
Sorry.
yeah, according to your story, I mean, you became you were the man of the house at 13 years old, taking care of your family. You know what I mean? So like you lost your youth when you were forced in that position to be the man of the house after your dad left.
Actually, he was 11 when his dad left. He went down to see him at 13. So he became man of the house at 11.
Yeah, I think, I mean, what you're saying, to answer the question, I think what you're saying is that, you look at going through this COVID, Anya, you go through this COVID, and as tough as it is, it's the resiliency that you have of moving forward and looking at how difficult this year for someone that's 18 years old, I mean, let alone for everyone really, to use that to have that experience, and that history, I mean, that past of adversity to overcome and to use that as a backbone to move forward in your life. I think that's the same thing that Willie went through during the war. I mean, like he said, he became a man. And for you as a young a girl to have that past and to use that moving forward for the whole rest of your life, to know that, hey, I made it through COVID, not going to school, not being able to go anywhere. You know what I mean? Like to use that moving forward in your life, just as strength.
Willie has always told me my entire life that adversity, no matter how hard it feels at the time, is good for you. And there are lessons to be learned and strengths to be gotten from.
It's like a vaccine. You get a little bit of hurt, but it saves you from the big hurt. When I got out of the army, I was so happy to be home and all that stuff. I went back down to Miami. I used to make a jewelry, names out of gold wire, and I'd sell them to the tourists. Then I went over to Havana. I stayed there 2 years before Castro. I sold every girl in Havana a pin with her name on it.
But I think the flip side of that with him, he went to art school here on the GI Bill, but he was bouncing to Miami, to Key West.
Wow.
I think he had a little PTSD, but they didn't call it that then. He said he just couldn't sit still.
Yeah.
I think that's a flip side of that, honestly.
I'm
sorry.
I love Havana. Before Castro, Havana was so beautiful. I had such a great time. I found a girlfriend there who spoke English, so I got along okay.
Wow, you were quite the charmer.
Yeah. He hasn't stopped yet.
Right.
Still charming him. Boom.
Anya, you have another question?
Yeah, actually, do you have anything to say to people from my generation? So basically people born after 97 onwards, because a lot of us think that World War II is so detached from who we are and what's happening now, but I really beg to differ. Like, World War II is basically like my favorite thing to talk about. So do you have like anything to say to our generation, especially those who feel detached?
Like, let me speak from my perspective. Like, I'm a little bit older. I'm twice your age, but I didn't learn anything about World War II in school. And World War II was never anything significant to me as a young person, and even up until I was 30 when I started learning a lot about it on my own. And as silly as it sounds, I learned and got interested in World War II from video games. And, you know, Donnie can attest to this. We played the Medal of Honor games, Call of Duty back in the day when it was all World War II. And that's literally where I learned and got interested in World War II. And in the schools now, they're not really teaching that much about it unless the history teacher is like passionate about himself and doing his own thing, teaching the students. But in the actual books, it's kind of just almost like a footnote in all of history. So what she's asking is like, what advice would you give to the younger people now of like to learn more about it and how it's still relevant today in this generation?
Well, they should be taught what they did Germany with the concentration camps. That's something people should never forget, that there could be somebody that evil. So be careful. Be careful. Everything else is to do whatever you feel like doing. Because even if you fail, it's a good thing, because then you learn from experience, and you remember why you failed, and you make sure that doesn't happen again, and you go on and on and on and on and on and on. I didn't have too much education, so I became a salesman, selling people. I figured that's without any much schooling, and I was very good at it. I was very good at it.
Selling to people, right?
Yeah, not selling people.
Not selling people, selling to people.
Yeah. Well, he had
I want to clarify for the internet audience.
He had a jewelry business.
Yeah.
He sold, after his jewelry, he sold storm windows, and then he opened up a string of home appliance stores. But he was always, you know, good. But I think also what's interesting to talk about is back then versus now, how everyone in the country, you were a soldier. It wasn't so divided. Everyone was together, right?
Yeah.
That's an important lesson.
All Americans.
Of all Americans.
Even if you were Democrats or Republicans,
Correct.
you didn't. You might have disagreed, but you weren't unpleasant about it.
Yeah, you weren't against each other.
Different points of
Correct.
view. We weren't that far apart. We
Yeah.
all wanted the same thing, just
I,
a different way of getting there.
Yep.
I wish we can get back to that place because we're certainly not there right now. This is the most divisive I've seen, hopefully we can get back to that solidarity that you had back during the war.
Exactly.
will.
I think that's the lesson.
I hope so.
For
I
sure.
hope so.
Well,
As I
Anya,
say-
Anya, it was great to meet
Yeah.
you. Glad
Thank you so
were able
much.
to join us.
Thank you.
Next time you come on, be ready so we can see who we're talking to.
Yeah, I'll definitely turn the lights on.
Yeah, for sure. Where are you in the Philippines?
I'm from Laguna, just like an hour away from the capital.
Okay.
Laguna.
This is where the raid in Los Baños happened, basically.
Oh yeah, a lot of history out there.
Was this your first time? Was this your first time watching the live stream, or have you been watching before?
No, this is my first time being on the live stream, but I've been following the page for a couple years now.
Oh,
right on,
Thank
right on.
you.
Yeah, well,
Well,
thank you. Thank you for
Thank you. Thank you so
thank you for
much.
keeping history alive. You have anything last thing you want to say to Mr. Kellerman?
Mr. William, I hope you know that people from my generation were not entirely detached. Like a lot of us still care, and a lot of us still want to know what we can. So it was like such an honor getting to speak to you, because I know not a lot of people like get this chance, especially people from my country where we can't really meet World War II veterans from the US. So thank you so much.
Honored to meet you, even though most people her age at 19 are detached. You think that, but it was a real honor. And she's from the Philippines, and she really feels grateful and honored to have spoken with you.
I thank you for those words. Just one word I want to say. The most important thing in your life, besides your work and stuff, is family. Blood is thicker than water. You should love your sisters and brothers and mothers and fathers, and do for each other like you were one. Like people who are Americans should love each other like relatives. But a strong family makes a strong person and a happy person.
Good advice.
Good advice.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Words from a hero. There you go. American hero. Love it.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, Anya. Great
Bye.
to
See
meet
you next time.
All right.
See you guys.
Bye.
Wow.
All right,
That was
cool.
special. Really special.
For sure. All right, let's bring in Zach. Hope you're ready, Zach.
Where are we at?
Hope you're ready.
We're waiting for Zach.
You
One
ready,
more.
Zach?
Zach is our
Yep,
last.
I'm here.
All right.
All right.
Hear us?
Hey,
Yep.
Zach.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Mr. Kellerman. How are you guys doing?
Hi.
Hi.
Aw. Hi, Zach. Where are you? How old are you?
I'm 15 and I'm from Chicago, Illinois.
Right on.
All right. All right.
Well, you are on with Mr. William Kellerman. Floor is yours.
All right, cool. So I just had two questions. My first question was, how did you feel on the day that the war in Europe was won? On Victory Day.
How did you feel on Victory Day?
Victory Day, I felt wonderful, even though on Victory Day, I was still in a hospital in Germany from a bullet wound in my leg. But everybody was happy and thrilled. Was that tired of killing people and seeing dead people, and fighting was a way of life. I thought it would never end, but I was happy it was over.
For sure.
What
my
hospital? Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
What hospital were you in? You remember what hospital you were at?
What hospital you were at? He was in two different hospitals. The first
Yeah,
one,
the one when VE Day. We're talking about VE Day.
Well, when I first got shot, I was just in a tent hospital, like in MASH.
Uh-huh.
But then they sent me, because at first it was just a small bullet hole, but it got infected and they had to cut out a lot of flesh. And they sent me to a hospital in Beirut, Germany. Beirut is famous for the opera writer Wagner.
Wagner, yeah.
Okay.
Wow, so that's where you were. So you're in Germany, in Beirut, and on VE Day.
That's where I was in.
Wow, wow.
And I went into town, even though they had me with my leg hanging up. I had the guys untie my leg. They have a big a concert hall in Beirut. Because of Wagner, and they were having concerts already. The war just ended a week ago. They were never bombed. They were having festivities and concerts already. That kind of amazed me.
Wow, wow, wow. Wow, I can't imagine for 19, what, you're 19 years old at the time? 20?
20 now, I think.
On VA,
20. Yeah, he's turned 20.
VA, he would have been.
I mean, thinking that the war will never end, and to to know that it's over, I just can't imagine the feeling that you had in that hospital bed, your leg up.
With gangrene in his leg.
Oh, wow. Was it your right leg or left leg?
Your right leg or your left leg? Your right leg or your left?
My left leg.
He still limps.
He still limps. Wow.
Yeah, he has a huge like Z scar behind his leg.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Well, cool. Zach, you got another question?
Yeah, I have one more question. And that question is, so we know how America's divided today. Do you have any message to our generation to see if we can help get America less divided?
How America is so divided today. Do you have any message to get America less divided and back together? Any words of wisdom?
The only way they're going to happen is if the politicians allow it to be happening. We never had it so divided as we did the past 4 years. Not that I want to be political, but he really stirred the pot and got people upset and excited. And I guess when so many people came out and cheered him, he thought he was God and he could take over the country. But it's better if people to tone down the rhetoric a little bit and realize we're all together and we're family and we should act like family.
Right.
Yeah. If we can all rally around our flag and know that we're all Americans, we all come from different walks of life, but ultimately all of us are Americans. And I hope that we can get back to that solidarity that you spoke of during the war.
Sounds like you're saying we need to rally around the idea and being an American instead of just rallying around a person. We need to get back to our ideals and all that.
Yeah, and it starts with history, not forgetting history and how we got to this place. And there's a lot of people that sacrifice in order for us to live in this country. It's easy to be Monday to quarterback and criticize about the past, but you can't change history. The history is what it is. And that's important. So, it's important to know, what you guys did in sacrifice. I mean, you have bullet holes in your leg for our freedom. We can go out here and say whatever we want, the First Amendment, Second Amendment. I mean, we're just so blessed. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, you are truly, you have bullet holes in your body defending America. If you think about that for a moment, right? Think about that for a moment. You sacrificed and you put your life on the line and got shot at for our freedom, that we live today. And there's no way that we are ever going to forget that, because, I'm telling you right now, that's what we're doing with Best Defense. We want to make sure that the next generation knows. That's why we're always about going to schools and education, because if we forget that, we forget our country. And I will never let that happen on my watch. I guarantee it.
You're the best, Donnie. But this is the hospital he was in. Can you see?
Oh, I actually just put that up.
I just
There it
sent
is.
it to you. That was in Beirut with
Wow.
his leg. Yep.
It's a beautiful hospital. Did
Yeah.
you guys get a chance to go back there in 2018?
No, we just retraced the steps to the Freteval Forest and where he was with the French underground. And we had to get back home to my mom.
Wow.
Wow.
That's not a bad place to be in a hospital, especially on VE Day. Too bad they didn't have Wagner start playing. I mean, the music started playing through the hospital.
Yeah.
Wow.
He used to have the guys sneak him out at night, right? When you were in the hospital, didn't you have the other wounded soldiers sneak you out at night?
Yeah.
Go party?
Used to unhook me with my leg hanging up. I went to the concert. That's my grandson.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, Zach, forgive me if I've forgotten, but is this your first time with us?
I've been subscribed to your channel for a long time, and I viewed the live streams. But yes, this is my
This is
first
your
time.
first time on a Zoom with us?
Yep.
Well, cool. It's great to meet you.
Great to
Yeah.
meet you too.
Great questions. And if you want to say one last thing to Mr. Kellerman, go ahead.
Sure. Mr. Kellerman, thank you for serving our country, and I just want to let you know that you're inspiration to all of us. And I would just like to say happy birthday and congratulations on your medal. And just thank you for everything you've done for our country. God bless you.
Thank you. As inspiring as I was to you, all you kids are inspiring to me, that you're so interested in the world and what happened in the world and how we got to here and how we got to this spot and what's going on. I'm glad you don't have your head stuck in the sand. You're up there listening and learning, which is great.
Yeah, it's very nice to
The
see.
more you know, the more you know.
Yeah, I mean, you spend enough time on the internet, you start to lose faith in some of this generation. But talking to these kids, like the real kids that are out there, it really gives you a lot of hope.
Because you guys are our future. You know,
Yep.
you guys are our future. And like I said before, let's not ever forget the past, because then we'll repeat it in the future for sure. So thank you for remembering history. Thank you for keeping it alive. And Zach, it's your generation that's going to keep pushing this forward. So rally your friends, take some pride and ownership in it, and it's special. So thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All right. Good to
Bye,
see you,
everyone.
Zach.
See you, Zach.
Hi, Zach.
Cool. Hey, you're probably gonna. How you feeling? We've almost gone an hour and a half, or hour and 45 minutes now. So, Austin, maybe we could bring everybody on real quick just to say goodbye.
Let's see. Well, we had Isaac coming on next, so we already said, let's do Isaac, and then we'll bring everyone on.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, sounds good. We don't want to take up too much of your birthday weekend.
Got a lot of partying to do.
I know, right? Got a lot of partying.
Hello.
Hi, Isaac.
Hey,
Hello.
Isaac.
My name.
We'll meet again someday.
No, this is Isaac.
One more question.
One more question.
Yeah,
Hi,
you're on with Isaac.
Yeah, you're on with Isaac. Where are you from? How old are you?
I am from Minneapolis, actually, Minnesota.
Oh, nice.
And I'd like to say thank you for your service and for, everything you've done. And this isn't really a question, but one of the things that that'll always stick with me about your story is obviously the most important part of your identity to you is being American. But when you're talking about how much you're fighting and like all the stuff you did and like how you're like, I'm gonna fight this war, I'm not afraid of anything. But it reminded me how much media portrays like Jewish people as like, oh, they're really rich or they're like not very like strong. But you're like, I'm a Jewish person. I'm an American. I'm still gonna kick ass. I'm not afraid of nothing. I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna shoot Germans. I'm gonna do whatever I need to do. And I think that's a really incredible story. People are like, oh, Jewish people are like, oh, they're victims or they're rich or they're like doctors. But you're like, no, I'm just the same as you, except for I could knock your teeth out with my left hand.
The lefty, by the way.
Yeah.
Called it. And I think that's really incredible.
Do you have a question?
Awesome.
We love it.
And yeah, my question is, one of the things that I read about a lot was that on the Western Front, American snipers in general were trained in marksmanship more than they were in fieldcraft. So it led to situations where, despite being better marksmen, German snipers' expertise in fieldcraft meant they would usually get the first shot off. So they had better camouflage, tracking skills, map navigation. So I remember hearing that, sorry, I'll speak slower, that a lot of American soldiers had a lot of resentment towards snipers because they felt like they were cowardly and they took them by surprise because they weren't equipped to counter the German snipers. So oftentimes German snipers would throw away their weapons or any signals that they were snipers when they were captured because they didn't want to be recognized as the quiet death that everyone hated. I'm wondering, what was your opinion of the German snipers during 1944 and 1945?
Grandpa, do you remember feeling a certain way towards German snipers, or there being a certain animosity towards German snipers amongst your platoon mate, just because of the way that they were,
Trained.
Am I still?
Well, just when you were fighting, did you have any sort of?
What's your opinion on German snipers?
Towards German
I
snipers?
imagine you weren't as scared of them, but from what I've heard,
Well,
I'm just wondering if anyone you knew was.
Well,
No,
when you were
specifically the
fighting,
German snipers.
since German snipers were able to take their shot without being seen. So did you have any different feeling towards them?
No, that's war. We were there. That's why we were there, to shoot at each other and kill each other. That's why we were sent there, the Germans and the Americans and the British. We were all there to kill each other.
So it didn't matter if you're a sniper or not. You're just doing your job, I guess, right?
You didn't feel specifically anything about the snipers because they had supposedly better training
No,
Advantage.
no.
and an advantage, where you particularly had almost no training since you were a replacement. You didn't go through any basic training.
Well, training is either kill or get killed. I was lucky that the guys who captured me didn't kill me. I didn't have any other feeling. Otherwise, when I went back, when I got back and we went back into the war, it was kill or be killed. You didn't give it a thought.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever find a sniper? You guys ever find and kill a German sniper?
Do you remember ever coming under sniper fire or capturing a German sniper?
I remember bullets flying past me. One of them got me.
So you got hit by a sniper.
2 of them got you.
Huh?
Yes, both of them.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the 2 times he got hit was
Isaac's like, what?
He's like, wait, so you're just like, did I get shot? I think I got shot again. That's annoying.
Yeah, he's
Tough, man.
I think I have
Tough
a
guys
job.
from the Bronx.
Better stop slacking.
that's his Bronx life, man.
Yeah, he's missing one knuckle in his hand. All his fingers are the same size because the knuckle got blown out, and then his knee. But those were, it wasn't. Those are probably sniper shots. What we imagine.
Where were you sitting when where were you when you got shot?
It's some big, must have been a bar or party room or something.
No, when you got weren't in,
When I was shot.
He wasn't. in combat.
you weren't in combat?
No, it was
You were in combat.
He was just getting a beer.
Wow, the Bronx were really violent.
like in a building. No, in a building.
Yeah.
No, I imagine.
Shot by a sniper.
Oh, wow,
Oh, so you're inside a building.
Dang.
man.
That's
It's
crazy.
funny. It just felt like a sting. A sting, like someone stunk my foot. And then it didn't hurt at first. And I looked down, I saw the blood. I said, holy mackerel. And then it started to hurt.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
You're like, hey, wait a minute, that hurt.
Yeah.
It wasn't like an open cafe that they were drinking. It was what used to be, and the soldiers were in there hiding and all of that.
Yeah. Obviously, it wasn't open during the war. Hey, happy
The
hour.
bar's always open.
I was like, look, boys, we got shelter. We're going in here to take cover.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Or one guy he just saw the bar and he's like, hey guys, let's get
go.
cover quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get cover behind the bar.
Yeah. Or you have Vince Speranza bring you beer in his helmet.
Yeah.
That's a great story. Yeah. That's a great story.
I just have one last question before, because I don't want to waste too much of your time. But if you were in D-Day, you were at Utah, and I'm wondering, you're talking about like how much this impacted you, and we're also talking about how much the important the younger generation is. And I'm wondering if you had another generation, not necessarily going on D-Day, but actually maybe if you were had to talk to someone who is going on to D-Day, like a younger version of yourself or another person, like a young person, like my age or slightly older, another person who would be going on to the same beach that you went to, if you could tell them something, what would you say to them?
If you would have to tell someone else that was your age, that was on their way to a D-Day today, what would you tell them? What advice would you tell them?
Keep your head down.
That's what I
Do what I did.
Look for cover. Don't get shot.
I will take that last one to heart.
Just don't get shot.
Don't get shot.
Just don't do it. It's not that hard. Just don't get shot.
Right? I mean, figuratively, you can think about that in our lives, right? Keep your head down and take care in everything. I mean, because there's always bullets flying in life. I mean, you know, figuratively speaking, in life, there's always that kind of stuff that's around us, and it's good advice.
Yeah. And also, before we have to actually go, I'd like to say that even when I heard you guys talking about like how that you don't feel like you get enough appreciation in our country, and that's really sad to me, because there's basically nothing more important to my life than World War II and people who fought in it. And I feel like I want you to know that no matter if you don't see that people care about you in the United States, that there is always going to be people, no matter what. It's going to be me, and if I'm not doing it, it'll be someone else. There'll always be people who always be grateful, always remember what you did, always remember
for dinner. Come over. We love you.
Donnie are like these West Coast softies over here, and the East Coast.
Hey! I sat in I dug myself a foxhole and sat in it when it was -5, just so I could know what it was like.
Amen.
Although it should have been -50. Should have been -50. Yeah,
Amen. You got it, Isaac. You got it. You know, you got it. Because you can have an appreciation for what they went through for our freedom, and you get it. I love your passion. I love your enthusiasm, man. That's what it's about. You know, it's what it's about.
Once quarantine ends, I'm finally old enough that I can finally get into reenactment, and then I'll finally understand what it. Well, I won't even have a quarter of the understanding, but I'll know what it's like to see a German soldier and then have him fire an actual gun. I mean, it'll be blanks, but you know. Yeah. I also like you to note that there is websites of hundreds of people who own guns from World War II. They have uniforms, and all they do is they go camping in uniform with real life, with the real equipment you use, the recreations. They just sit down and go, I'm going to spend 3 days in France as if my life was the same as yours. Because that's how important you are to us.
Donnie does that stuff. Donnie's a reenactor.
Really?
Yeah, you should see his closets.
For 20 years. Yeah,
for
20 years.
A long time.
We met a lot of
20 years. That's kind of how it started, actually. We were bringing veterans. We're bringing veterans to our events because we did an airborne impression, and guys like Terry Poiser, who's an incredible former cop. I mean, he used to bring the veterans there, and that's kind of how this all kind of started. You know, the veterans wanted to go back to Normandy, and they'll come in. I mean, it's just wonderful because, you know, for a whole weekend, they get to see and remember and just like, you know, take time out and to, you know, to see everybody during that period again. And for us, it was great to kind of get a little taste of what it was like to be in the cold with like 42s with like, you know, cotton pants, you know, freezing. I mean,
itchy as hell, as it were.
Right. You really don't think about it, you know, in simple things. And you start to have a more appreciation when you start to delve into what they went through.
Yeah.
And also before I go, when you're saying that they fought for our freedoms in the United States, I also want to note that you didn't just fight for the freedom of your own country. You fought for the freedom of countries like France and Belgium and the Netherlands and
That's right.
Luxembourg and even Germany.
Germany, yeah.
I imagine when you were in Germany, you found a couple of women who were very happy to meet you.
I would say.
He imagines
Yeah.
that you're in Germany and the Netherlands and France that you found a few women who were very happy to see you.
But I get the feeling you're the kind of guy wherever you go, you got to make sure the women are happy to see you.
Well, he was a handsome fella. You know,
Yeah,
he was a handsome
definitely
fella,
was.
sure.
I can't even imagine the things he's seeing in his head right now.
You know what?
You can see in his eyes, he's like, oh,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Isaac. It's great to
right.
great to meet you. Thank you
thank
so
you.
much for your passion
Yeah.
and your words. Absolutely outstanding. How old are you, by the way?
I am 16,
You're 16,
and
okay.
Wow.
I want you to know that that our passion comes from the fact that we can never do what you can do and what you did, and the best that I and we can do is remember and teach what you've done and the lessons that you have learned, because that's the only way we can even come close to doing what you did.
Amen.
Love it. Love it. God, it
All
makes
right.
me
All
feel
right.
good. That makes me feel good. God, I just
Me
feel.
too.
Thank you. Thank
God
you.
bless.
Thank you.
All right.
And
See ya.
all the other gods bless.
All right.
Very.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so we're gonna bring one more person on. He's been in the waiting room almost every week and never got on, so we're gonna bring him in.
Let's do it.
I think this will be our last one. Then we'll bring everyone on to say goodbye.
Okay.
All
Let's
right,
do it.
Justin, you're coming in. Can you hear us, Justin?
Hey. All right.
What's up?
All right. Hey, Justin, how you doing?
Hi,
Good, how are
Justin.
you?
Doing very well.
All right, my name is Justin Senzer, as you know. I'm 15, I'm about to turn 16 in February, and I have a huge passion for history, especially the Second World War.
Where you
So,
from?
I'm from Marietta, Georgia, which is near Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Sweet. Great.
Yep.
Awesome.
So,
You are on with Mr. William Kellerman.
yep. Just wanted to wish you a happy belated birthday as well. So I'd like to start.
birthday.
Yep.
You have to say it loud and slow. Sorry, hon.
Oh, happy belated birthday.
Happy belated birthday
Happy birthday.
to you.
Thank you.
Like, whose birthday? My birthday?
Is it my birthday? All right, Justin, you got a
All right.
question?
Oh yeah, I have a good amount of questions I'd like to ask.
All right, well, William's getting a little tired now, so stick it to like 2 questions.
All right. What was your impression of the German soldier you faced against in combat?
What was your impression of the German soldiers, William?
Did you respect them?
What was your impression of the German soldiers that you faced in combat?
In combat, the actual Germans that I faced, the ones who were shooting at me were kind of faceless. They were hiding behind things. But
yeah,
in general, I thought the American soldiers were far superior to the German soldiers.
Yep, they're also.
We were more motivated. We wanted to get them and finish them off and get the hell out of there.
Mm. Another thing I like to say, though, the Americans, they're armed with the 8-round 30 caliber M1 Garand. Yeah. So they could put out 8 rounds with their 8-round stripper clips before the German can even fire 2. And I think it's a very good rifle. As Patton said, it's one of the greatest battle implements ever devised. So
He used a carbine.
I used a carbine.
That
was a 15-round.
Yeah, he was
carbine.
in Company D. He was in Company D, which was heavy weapons, but he had a carbine and a pistol, right?
Well, of course, I was in headquarters.
You were in headquarters.
Yeah.
The other guys, had machine guns and mortars.
Right, well, that's what he's asking about, the machine guns and the mortars.
I
Yeah.
have a couple more questions. Do you remember where you were in Normandy? I know in Normandy, the 79th Division, they made a push north to Cherbourg and
Yes.
the hedgerows and bocage. So I'd like to know, remember any specific places you were in France?
Do you remember specifically where in Normandy you were? Like
Where you
town?
landed, yeah. He landed on Utah Beach.
Yeah, well, I landed on Utah Beach. And then we went through St. Mary Glees and some other towns.
In the hedgerow country.
Yep.
They all look the same during the war, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's like you're fighting through there. As Pat said, I conquered a bunch of like towns and stuff and names I can't remember.
Yeah.
At the time, it's not like, okay, guys, welcome to Carrington. Welcome to St. Mary Glees.
He was part of the liberation of Cherbourg, but he was captured on July 4th. So you could pretty much follow the 79th map and see what he
for sure.
Yep, Cherbourg. Yep.
Yeah. Cherbourg was a major port city.
Yeah.
And it had to be captured to bring in supplies.
Have you been there?
I've never been out of a country.
You got to get out, man. You got to go see.
Not yet, but we're going to be putting some stuff together for 2021, and hopefully kids like yourself may have an opportunity to come with Best Defense out to Normandy.
I hope so. And I like to state, you're Jewish, and I'm Jewish too. My dad, my great grandpa, he was a Jewish soldier during the war.
Oh wow!
He was in Normandy as well. This is a picture of him.
Oh, let's see.
And he's from Brooklyn, New York.
Grandpa, his great grandfather was also a Jewish soldier from New York, from Brooklyn.
What was his last name? What was his last name?
Levin.
Levin.
Yeah. And
what unit was he with? What unit was he with?
He's with the 9206 special something force or special engineer force.
Oh,
it wasn't your infantry division. It was like an independent engineer unit, and he landed at Omaha Beach.
Wow.
Yeah, at near Vierville-sur-Mer. And I've talked to many World War II veterans, and it's been a humbling experience to get to talk to you, Mr. William. As you can see, I have a lot of books and collections from my great grandpa.
Oh, wow.
So this is a German belt that my grandpa took off a German soldier.
Johnny, you're up.
Oh wow!
Wow!
That's
wow.
original. Wow!
Okay, you ready for this? Wait, you ready for this?
This was a German swastika armband that my grandpa took off a German as well.
Oh wow! And another thing I have.
That belt was
my grandpa, he was stationed in England, like many of the American soldiers during the war before the landings.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a lot of British stuff. So, as you can see, this is a British ration.
Oh, wow.
And when you open it, full of British and German and American stuff. So,
oh, wow.
You have a German breast eagle. They'd wear it on their fell blues. Or their field blouses.
Yep.
And all this stuff is authentic.
Authentic.
This is all the stuff he brought back, right?
Correct.
Wow.
And we have how do I open this? It's a U.S. Corps of Engineers compass. And as you can see, I don't know if you can see it, but there's little tiny letters that say USCE. I don't think you can see it. It means U.S. Corps of Engineers.
Yeah.
And we have a German ribbon. We have a German ribbon set. This is a War Merit Cross, the one with the crossed swords, and only a couple hundred of these were awarded out of the 13 million men that served in the German army, the Wehrmacht.
Go, Grandpa.
Wow.
That's some great memorabilia there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Wow.
And I also wanted to make a connection to you because I know you're Jewish and my grandpa was Jewish. So I thought that was like a cool connection to make. And last but not least for German stuff, a silver wound badge and a black wound badge. So I think that's very cool.
Very cool.
And It's been an honor to talk to you. I know you're tired, so I'll let you go now.
Well, Justin, stay on. We're going to bring everyone on. We're going to sing happy birthday.
All right.
All right, so stay on.
All right, stay
I'm going
on.
to bring everybody who's in the waiting room on right now. They're all coming in. This is going to get wild. It can get loud. So everybody, you're coming on.
A silver wound.
Donnie, is this all gonna be reposted
Oh yeah, it'll be on. It'll be on.
on your YouTube channel? Or us
Yep.
channel? Great.
I know you're tired, so I'll let you go now.
All right, everybody. If you can hear me, we're gonna on the count of 3. We're gonna sing happy birthday. Okay.
Okay.
Everybody, get your voices ready. Everybody, get in position.
Hey.
I see you all. All right. So, 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, William. Happy birthday to you.
Got people from all over the world here, William.
Hey, can I ask something?
All right, so everybody, we're gonna end the live stream. And
Yeah.
thank you all for joining. Sorry if you didn't get a chance, but hopefully we'll get you in next time. And Mr. Kellerman, thank you so much for your service, and thank you for spending time with us today. And this was very special, and we really enjoyed spending time with you.
Say a last word.
Likewise.
Likewise. All right.
Yeah. Well,
Can I
thank you
say
so much,
something?
sir. Well, thank you so much, sir, on the behalf of Best Defense and everybody out there that's keeping history alive. Thank you so much, and thank you for taking a couple of hours out of your birthday weekend to share with us, because it means so much to all of us, and we're gonna remember and keep history alive. So you have a great rest of your day, and thank you all for your support.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you
you. One
for giving us
thing.
the opportunity.
Thank you, Austin.
Bye.